Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm very happy to be able to participate in this activity, even though it has to be done online during this pandemic. I will introduce myself. I'm Hika Herani and my team. We are from Psychology Department, University of Brawijaya. The purpose of this presentation is to present our research result about environmental behavior among migrant students. This is about Migrant Students Dilemma, studies about pro-environmental behavior, praise, attachment, residential satisfactions, and intentions to move. First, I will explain to you about our background study. As you know, being migrant students has become a living culture most of Indonesian people, and we call it as merantau. Merantau is also a part of the culture of several ethnic groups in Indonesia, such as Minangkabau, Maduris, Javanese, and Bugis. So, being away from their place of origin and aiming to continue their students is form of merantau from the students. After they graduate from high school, they choose to continue their higher educations outside their home regions, meeting many individuals who have different cultural backgrounds in the environment where they have migrated. Students will be faced with certain expectations and demand from the environment that they must fulfill. Some of the studies that underline our research are there are 7 factors that influence migrant students in choosing boarding house, including environmental factors, rental prices, facilities, references locations, security, and surface. Badri also found that 7 factors that influence migrant students in choosing a boarding house, namely the distance from boarding house, the influence factors from friends, economic factors, the homestay cleanliness factors, and comfortable place. Some factors above sometimes trigger students' behavior to move place of residence. This is, we call it the intention to move. The intention to move was based on a desire to find a better place and because of dissatisfactions with the current environment. Mayor on 2016 was conduct survey on 559 students, undergraduate art students, and found that when students spend more time on campus, the more knowledge they gain, this will lead in the individuals to carry out pro-environmental behavior, such as recycling or by saving or paper expenses. So, pro-environmental behavior itself can be defined as a behavior that has impact on environmental sustainability. Kennedy and Koskis on 2013 explained that some 60% of research respondents felt that pro-environmental behavior was limited by lack of knowledge. He also explained that knowledge and attitudes are important because they have a potential impact on behavior formation. The formation of behavior can occur when there is an interaction between individual and their environment. The existence of an individual opportunity to participate in a joint activity in their environment will increase the individual's interest in the environment because each place will provide a certain experience. So, place attachment, it can occur when an individual occupies a place for a long period of time. It can indicate that the individual has satisfactions with the place he lives in. Satisfactions in occupying a place, or what can be said as a residential satisfaction, can be defined as an individual who has a quality of life and well-being in the environment where he lives. So residential satisfaction is able to influence positive or negative attitude and behaviors. Pro-environmental behavior is one of positive attitudes and behavior that can be generated. So individual who satisfied with the environment in which they live will tend to have consistent behavior in caring for their surrounding environment. Based on the descriptions above, students are as individuals who have higher education should have more pro-environment behavior. Our research was aimed to determine the role of residential satisfactions on pro-environmental behavior and intention to move for migrant students, and to know how the role of place attachment as mediator between residential satisfactions with pro-environmental behavior and intention to move. This is our research design that place attachment is assumed to be a mediator variable between residential satisfactions with pro-environmental behavior and the intentions to move. Our research used a qualitative approach. The sampling technique was used incidental sampling with total data of 406 migrant students who live in boarding house or rental house. There is 4 instruments we use, and the analysis used was multiple regression analysis. This is the results of hypothetical and empiric score, and then the second was shown about category variable of each variable was residential satisfaction, place attachment, pro-environmental behavior, and intention to move. This is the hypothesis test, our variable. So this is residential satisfaction, pro-environmental, and pro-environmental behavior. And then the second is about residential satisfaction, place attachment, and intention to move. Meanwhile, variable residential satisfactions with the place attachment as a mediator on the intention to move, there is a significant role. So, residential satisfaction has a positive role on place attachment. The result of analysis mean that residential satisfaction has role 30.1% on place attachment. The second hypothesis test result also showed that place attachment does not have significant effect on pro-environmental behavior. And the result of this hypothesis is about residential satisfactions is only has a role about 0.01% with pro-environmental behavior. The result of this hypothesis test also show that residential satisfaction has a negative role on pro-environmental behavior. However, the role of that place attachment have for overseas students toward intention to move is negative. Similar to this, residential satisfaction also has significant role of the intention to move variable, but a negative role as well. This indicates that if overseas students have high intention to move, it will decrease due to residential satisfaction and place attachment that are also owned by overseas students. This is the conclusions. In conclusion, the result of these studies indicate that residential satisfaction has a positive role to place attachment, and then the place attachment does not have a significant effect on pro-environmental behavior. The residential satisfaction does not have a significant effect on pro-environmental behavior, and then place attachment and has a significant role to intention to move, and residential satisfaction also has significant roles to intention to move. From the result of this study, it was found that pro-environmental behavior, place attachment, residential satisfaction, and intention to move among migrant students. Education was needed to continue to carry out environmental activity for students in their residence, both temporarily and permanently. Thank you for this opportunity. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.